Hello, friends, and welcome to The Other A Word by Aminah Mosley, your go-to resource for fun, simple, and effective strategies for the autism community in early childhood and beyond. I'm Aminah, and that's Aminah. So welcome. I am joined today by Nicole Thornton of Autism Speaks New York City. I am honored to have her as a guest today to talk about some of the resources that we have during the quarantine, this shelter in place that's going on. So excited to have you, Nicole. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and for taking the time to set this up and work with me on putting together some resources. I'm really excited to join you today to chat about what we have, hopefully answer some questions maybe you didn't even know you had, and talk a little bit more about Autism Speaks and World Autism Month.
Sounds wonderful. So those of you who have just joined, welcome. We actually also have an availability on Zoom. And so if you want to log into Zoom, you can feel free to do that. I don't have the split screen here. And so the video will be available on the YouTube channel directly after this. So tonight, apologize for the shadow in advance, just a part of who we're being right now. And so today is our first in a set of tea chats. Nicole, what are you drinking on?
I just have some regular tea because it's all that was in my house. It was this or coffee. So it's just some like Lipton tea.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you know me, you know I am a tea lover. And so of course I have some flowering tea. You can probably see that a little bit better on IG,
It's
and
so beautiful.
it is everything. So let's toast and get started. Ready, Nicole? Cheers.
Boop. Oh, it disappears into my background.
Okay.
I didn't drink.
So tell us about who you are, Nicole, and in what multiple capacities you serve.
Sure. So as Aminah said, I'm Nicole Thornton. I'm the Senior Director for Field Development for New York City at Autism Speaks. So I'm the local staff partner for the 5 boroughs, or actually 4 of the 5 boroughs. My sidekick, or right arm, Trish Rollins, manages our whole entire Staten Island community as well. A lot of grassroots activities, local fundraising opportunities. A big focus of mine is to produce and support our annual Autism Speaks New York City Walk.
Yes.
It's our greatest day to gather our community in New York City of the year. It's also our greatest source of revenue for the organization. So it is a huge fundraiser, a huge awareness raiser, and just a really special day. So we do New York City Walk and the Staten Island Walk, both fortunately right now in the fall. So we're looking forward to both of those. We'll chat a little bit more about that. And kind of act as a connector. So a lot of families reach out to us who are looking for services, supports, resources, so on and so forth, and making sure that they're able to find the right spot within Autism Speaks to connect and get more information.
Fantastic. Thank you. Tell us what 3 things you want people to know about Autism Speaks.
Okay. They're not going to be short. So the first thing would be our mission. And I want to read it because I think it's really important, and it's really, I think will set the tone actually for some of the questions you'll probably ask me along the way.
Okay.
So Autism Speaks is dedicated to promoting solutions across the spectrum and throughout the lifespan for the needs of individuals with autism and their families. And we do this through advocacy and support, working to increase understanding and acceptance for people with autism, and advancing research into causes, and finally offering better interventions for autism spectrum disorder and related conditions. So increasing global understanding, being a catalyst for research breakthroughs, increasing early childhood screening and timely interventions. So perfect person to be talking to. Then improving that transition to adulthood and ensuring access to reliable information and services throughout the lifespan and across the spectrum. So that's the mission. That's what I wanted to start with. The second thing I'd love folks to know is that we're a relatively young organization. We were founded in 2005 by Bob and Suzanne Wright. So we just celebrated 15 years. Yeah. of working to support the autism community. That was back in February. It just seems like a different time
Right.
at this point. But we also celebrated our 15th anniversary with kind of a relaunch and a revisioning of our brand. So you see in my background this
In my
beautiful, and Aminah's pin too, this beautiful spectrum of color
Yes.
to represent the entire autism community and the diversity that it represents. And we also launched our acts of kindness. So we are in 2020 making it the year of kindness, and looking to have 1 million acts of kindness take place this year in celebration of that 15th anniversary, and as part of World Autism Month, which we're in April.
Yes.
The third thing I wanted everyone to know is that April is World Autism Month. If you don't follow us on any social media, you might not know. If you do follow us on social media, there's no way to miss it, or if you're not on our email lists. And again, it goes back to helping to grow that understanding, acceptance, awareness, and I'll talk a little bit more later on about taking that pledge for that kindness campaign. But we're kicking it off, or we kicked it off rather,
Yes.
just recently as part of that 15-year celebration.
Thank you.
And those are my 3 things. I have them A, B, and C
Literally,
in
right?
my
Because
notes.
you know what I'm
So
going to be
yeah,
asking, like, and this, and this, and this.
Look, those are my scripted ones.
So, okay. So I want to come back to the Autism Speaks walk, because I know that you did touch on it, but I definitely want to come back to it.
Yeah.
Particularly since this year's, it might look a little different, right, than it's looked in previous years.
Possibly.
Possibly.
We're sort of preparing.
Hopefully not, but possibly.
For all scenarios, but no matter what shape the walk takes, we can get more into it later. It's really important. We'll be coming together in some fashion to celebrate, our families, to celebrate New York City, to celebrate this wonderful community, and to raise those critical funds as well, because we need that support really more than ever right now. And so much of that does come through the walk.
Tell me then about, just switching gears just a bit, tell me about how Autism Speaks is serving the community virtually in the next few months. Because some people don't know that they're a resource even when we don't, even when the office is closed, let's say. So during the special quarantine situation, the shelter in place, whatever we want to call it, right? This pandemic, how is Autism Speaks serving our community virtually?
Yeah, we are still here. So, our physical doors might not be open. Our offices are, of course, all closed, and we're all really fortunate to be able to shift to working from home at Autism Speaks. But we are still very much working from home. Whatever that is. I'm sitting on a pile of pillows right now at the edge of my bed. The background is, of course, to raise awareness for our Be Kind campaign, but it's also to hide some of the laundry in the corner in my work from home situation. But I think the first really important thing to know is that our autism response team, and they are always a lifeline for the autism community. They're still working. They are still answering calls. They are still responding to email. They are available via phone at 888-288-4762. I'll say that a couple of more times throughout.
888-288.
4762.
4762. 888-288-4762.
That's the one.
I'm
Also,
we have on that one IG as well.
We have a Spanish speaking line as well.
Yes.
Yes, we have a couple of Spanish language staff who man that line, and that is a different number. And Aminah, you can translate this for me. 888 772 9050. 9050
is the Autism Response Team. 9050.
9050.
Autism Response Team. Hold on. Autism. Yeah, it's wanting to give me Spanish too. This is so funny. Autism Response Team. Spanish speaking, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Spanish speaking. You guys bear with me on the, I'm typing on IG, so that's
Okay.
why you'll see me looking at the screen, and
You're doing it very
everything is
seamlessly.
vicariously placed. So, not vicariously placed. Oh my goodness, I forget the word, but anyway, everything is very like, be still placed here. Okay, response team, Spanish speaking team. And go ahead again, 888-288 for the English speaking.
4762.
288-4762. I'm going to have it memorized too.
Go on.
4762 762 autism response line, English speaking. Are there any other languages offered?
Right now it's just English and Spanish for the in-person, the response line. We have a number of resources, I think especially related to COVID and our response in
Yes.
several different languages as well. I've not dove into all of them, admittedly.
Okay.
We do also have an email line, so I think that could be helpful for anyone where Spanish or English aren't the first language.
Okay,
so I'm going to make you type one more thing. It is help, HELP, at
yes.
autismspeaks.org. Super simple.
Help at autismspeaks.org?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the one.
All right.
And those guys are available on the phone Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 or 5, basically during business hours, Monday through Friday. They're answering emails, they're answering phone calls, they're responding to voicemails, and a really wonderful resource for the autism community.
Yes.
And, something we would recommend for a parent who, let's say, had a new diagnosis and wasn't quite sure what to do with this, piece of paper they've been handed, or we're approaching a new time, in a child's life cycle.
Yes.
What do we do next? How do we handle transition? I have a question about an IEP. Really kind of no matter what the question is, they're able to provide some really robust resources. While Autism Speaks is not a direct service agency, I really do host a lot of great information, and it is a vast amount of information. So the autism response team is really wonderful at kind of sifting through that and finding like what is the right piece, or what is the right resource, or who is the right provider, or list of providers rather, that you want to be calling for X, Y, or Z issue. And specifically around COVID-19, they're here to support parents as they kind of figure out what is telelearning like, what is teletherapy. Yeah, exactly. So we hope parents are calling to say like, or like, this isn't working for me. Can you recommend some other, really
right.
Whatever it is, but just being another sort of tool, in the toolbox for parents. And that sort of goes, I think, always. Beyond the autism response team, we have COVID-19 specific resources. They're available right on our website. There's a little, orange box that pops up when you go to our website, autismspeaks.org. And they're continually updated. So when we sort of first entered this work from home, shelter in place situation, it was just kind of a scrolling list of things, and
yes.
the art number right at the top. It has become much more sophisticated. It's organized really beautifully into supports for families, supports for healthcare providers, or educators, supports for adults, because we can't forget our guys who are struggling to enter the workforce to begin with, or underemployed or unemployed, and now are really being thrown for a loop. Perhaps they have a job and they're really used to their routine, and now we're saying like, you have to work from home and figure out what that's like, and good luck. So a whole host of resources, really kind of one-stop shopping. So if you're trying to figure out like, what are CDC recommendations, but also where's that autism response team number, it's all there in one place, so you don't have to sift through the internet to find all of this stuff as it relates to autism and the special needs community kind of at large.
Okay.
And then we also are we're just starting this events, web-based virtual events, to share with families sort of what we're working on, what we have going on as it relates to, for example, coming up, a whole series of advocacy events tailored to each state. We're having one for New York State this Friday. at noon. More information is on our Facebook page or right on that, homepage pass through for COVID-19 resources.
Okay.
To learn more about how we're kind of on the boots on the ground, to make sure that our community is represented in all of this legislation that's being passed and all these packages and bills, and to make sure that the special needs community, the autism community, isn't being left behind or forgotten, that they do have a voice. Yeah, so our advocacy team is really working like overdrive right now, overtime, overdrive, both. So that's kind of, like what we've got going on to support people virtually. And I think more to come. And I think this pandemic is going to require us to be a little bit more thoughtful and nimble with how we deliver things. And I think it'll actually enhance the experience that we provide folks with. Just, if we're hosting a town hall, having the opportunity to maybe host something virtually, in addition to the in-person event, would help us have a greater reach for families who maybe couldn't get into. We do a lot of events in Manhattan because it's the most central point for all 5 boroughs. We know not always the most convenient opportunity, but we've done things all over the place, and we're always kind of leaving someone out or behind, or it's a far distance. So we just want to make sure that this information is accessible and that there is no gap in service in terms of what Autism Speaks is providing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else do you got?
I'm looking at my list of questions, and I'm thinking of kind of what makes sense with what you just talked about.
I mean, throw me some curveballs.
And so I want to know a little bit more about that Autism Speaks walk. Since you were talking about virtual events, let's switch now to live events, or what could potentially be a virtual event.
Yeah, so this is also a perfect segue to another event that we have that will be sort of virtual, sort of in person. So the Autism Speaks walk, we host over 75 of them across the country. Actually, New York City was one of the founding Autism Speaks walks. I think it's actually more than 15 years old. I think it even might predate Autism Speaks. Some of our legacy organizations were walking before Autism Speaks existed. But we'll be walking. We're planning to walk. Let me tell you what we're planning to do in this world of like hopeful optimism that I'm trying to live in. On Sunday, September 13th at the South Street Seaport, Piers 17 and 16. Aminah has been our beautiful and wonderful and dynamic MC for the last 2 years. I'm really hoping that she'll be on that stage again for 2020. It's a really special day, not because it's my baby and my event. It's a beautiful space. It's a beautiful backdrop to be walking. It's really special to, I think, do it in New York City. And we are able to bring more than a dozen service providers out, to have booth space and to exhibit their services and interact with families and to talk with them more about the resources that are available to them. We bring our own autism response team representatives to the walk. We have a whole host of, really generous providers, generous sponsors rather, who are coming out to support our community. So I think, that really excites, the parents and the individuals who are coming out to walk with us. And it's a really, really special day. It's, truly a celebration of these families, of these individuals. I love seeing, on walk day, we see tons of different t-shirts and different groups and different social groups and different, corporations coming out to like form this like beautiful rainbow of shirts and smiles and faces. And I could start crying. But it's Sunday, September 13th. We have a goal this year to raise $500,000. Last year, we brought in about $465,000 in New York City, which is a really, Aminah was one of our top teams. It's, we're doing it a little bit at a time, and we're just it's so tremendous to watch the needle sort of move over the course of the 9 months leading up to the walk. Knowing that it's, really, individuals reaching out to their networks. It truly is peer-to-peer fundraising that we rely on. So that is Sunday, September 13th. The website is act.autismspeaks, act.autismspeaks.org/NYC, or you can just go to autismspeakswalk.org and search for the New York City walk, or if there's one near to you. If you're outside of New York City, we've got 75 of them. We have a whole host of them in the metropolitan area. And walks in sort of a post-pandemic world, in a post-pandemic New York City, we're not too sure yet. We're kind of taking it week by week. We're obviously listening to what our governor is saying and what our mayor is advising, and we will follow those rules and those orders and those recommendations as hopefully some restrictions get listed to figure out what the best course of action is going forward. Like I said at the beginning, we're fortunate that it was a fall walk. We have postponed, I think, almost all of our spring events at this point. So we're about 50-50. Half the walks take place across the country in the spring months, the other half in the fall months. So a lot of those walks have been pushed back to the fall. And if we have to do something else, we'll figure out something else. And the first of that sort of like something else virtual event and a way for us to engage our community, especially during World Autism Month, is actually coming up this Saturday. I want to get it right because it's new, and it's called Steps for Kindness as part of our kindness campaign. And we're asking everyone across our network and into our own staff personnel networks to walk 5,400 steps in support of the 1 in 54 kids in the US diagnosed with autism. And wherever you are and however you can do that, we would be so happy to have anyone supporting us. There's more information on our webpage, autismspeaks.org. More information on our Facebook page. Just search Autism Speaks in there. And if you come up with Autism Speaks New York City or Autism Speaks just in general or Autism Speaks San Francisco, you're going to see consistent messaging around what that Steps for Kindness event is all about. So it's virtual. We'll have a Facebook Live kickoff opening ceremonies like you would normally at a walk. And then, you go out and you do your walk, however that is. And if it's, steps around your living room or your house or up and downstairs or around the block or socially distanced somewhere at a park, probably not in New York City. However you can count it, we are eternally grateful. And again, those 5,400 steps are an important representation of that new prevalence rate, that 1 in 54 rate that was just announced a couple of weeks ago by the CDC. Amid all of this, so that's my walk talk.
That's my walk talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Very fair.
That up right here.
I am already registered as a team captain again. Yes. And my team is just called Team Up with Aminah. So you can search Aminah Mosley and boom. I usually get at least bronze memberships. So we usually raise at least $1,000. This is an important cause. And over 75% of the money that is raised goes towards research. And it's critical. It's absolutely critical. We need to know more about this condition. We need to support the people who are doing the work to know more about the condition and actually spreading awareness and actually doing the work to support the families. So excellent opportunity to contribute and to be kind. Hashtag
yes.
Be kind. Okay. And with that, that's a nice transition to tell us about the Be Kind movement. You gave us a little bit about it earlier. I know that for example, one of the things that I did was just a couple of care packages to my neighbors. And normally I wouldn't post something like that because it's something that I do because of who I am and not because it's about a bragging thing. And this one, we want to actually have tons of shameless brags because we want to show that people are actually being kind in this moment. So for example, my mom decided, she's a retired military nurse. And so she decided, her and my grandmother decided together to be kind and create face masks, right? And distribute those to different people. And again, I decided to do a couple of bags with essentials in it, soap and an orange, a lemon, some candy, some fun things, a pen, like really, really essential things that you actually would need and can use. And so I challenge you all to hashtag Be Kind as well, and post it and tag Autism Speaks and Autism Speaks New York, because there is kindness going around. There really is. So tell us more about it, Nicole, on your side.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a really simple idea, and it's so funny that it has come up around this time where so many people are asking for these acts of kindness to begin with. I know it's 7 o'clock. We're all out there um, cheering for our frontline workers and our healthcare professionals every night. And each one of those claps, I think, is an act of kindness, an act of encouragement. We see a ton of sidewalk chalk and like beautiful things like that, and your care packages and masks. So um, it's sort of a no-brainer, and it seems almost too obvious in this time. But we really wanted to take a moment to focus on why it's so important to be kind, especially to those individuals who are on the spectrum. Really anyone. Different is just fine, and to please be kind. It's an attempt to have some dialogue around anti-bullying and things of that nature by taking these pledges. There's a whole host of ways you can do this as part of that year of kindness. Going to our website, and like I said, it's like one of the first things that pops up, or you can go directly to it, autismspeaks.org/kindness, to learn more about what this all means. But it's spreading kindness and tagging it on social media. It's logging into our page to take the pledge to be kind, and recording a message or posting a photo of what you're doing to be kind. What action are you planning to take, or have you taken? We're rolling this into World Autism Month, so wearing blue during the month of April for kindness. So today I'm wearing blue, but I'm actually like wearing our whole, I chose this shirt for a whole spectrum of color, so the blue to the pink gradient. But as staff, we're all encouraged, even if we're working from home and even if we're working in sweatpants or pajamas, to try to make sure for those 30 days of April that those sweatpants or pajamas are blue, or jeans. It's an encouragement to just say hello to your jeans, your blue jeans. And again, taking that action, logging out to our site, dropping that in there, lighting your home up blue, asking, a place that might still be opened up for business to light blue, or do it even better yet, virtually on a website. We have a ton of resources on that page. So banners for websites, profile pictures for your social media, Instagram posts, right? As profile pictures for Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, so excuse me if that sounds sort of dumb. But lots of information, lots of resources, for you. There's even information, if you're looking for a new lesson for your kiddos who are at home. We have a kindness lesson plan for elementary school and middle school to high school. Everyone's on Zoom, and this super cool background is available on that website. There's actually a couple of different options for you to turn your Zoom backgrounds. This is an act of kindness that we're doing right now, is sort of spreading that message, raising that awareness. We have a service provider who every Zoom conference they're having with their teens during the month of April, they have one of our Be Kind Autism Speaks backgrounds available or up. So it's very sweet, very fun. And the last piece of that, one more way for you to get engaged, if walking's not your thing, or virtually walking isn't even your thing. This was something we hoped to have done in person, but we shifted and we're able to kind of pivot a little bit since we're all socially distanced, are these kindness breaks. So we're encouraging, and I'm actually seeing more of them. And Aminah, you and I talked about this last week, how I'm connecting with people that I haven't connected with in ways that I haven't in years, over FaceTimes and Google Hangouts and Zooms. So taking a kindness break, and it is, it's something you can do just to take a kindness break, but it's a way to create connection and conversation, then sharing, in this case, a virtual cup of kindness. So our, cups of tea that we're drinking this evening, would be a great example of a kindness break. And if you do choose to host a kindness break and you want to associate this with fundraising, which is the platform that we offer, as soon as you receive your first $25 donation in your little fundraising participant center will send you a kindness kit filled with some decorations and napkins and stickers. So to get other folks excited along with you once you raise $100, just to further incentivize on the fundraising front. I should have brought it up with me. We have this really cool kindness cup. It's like this big Tervis tumbler. It has our brand new brand on it with a message to be kind. So we launched that back in February. It's again, this is a fundraising opportunity, an awareness building opportunity to kind of take this break and have this kindness break, coffee chat, a coffee clutch on Friday morning. Some of my coworkers and I have our coffee talk because we're all from Long Island, to get together and catch up and have a moment where we don't stress or talk about work or our kids or whatever. We just, chat about silly things and find funny Zoom backgrounds.
Yes, so you guys do coffee, I do tea. Yes.
Yes. I know. We've kicked all the tea drinkers out. We have our resident yogi, I think, does tea. So that's kind of all the ways we're being kind, for hashtag be kind, hashtag kindness counts.
Okay, thank you. I am so grateful to have had this time with you, Nicole, and thank you for giving us a bit of more insight of what Autism Speaks represents and what Autism Speaks is doing to serve the community virtually now and looking forward to in the future, particularly focus on the Autism Speak Walk, which is the main fundraiser for the year.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Tell us 3 things you want us to remember as we come to a close.
All right, so 3 things. I want you guys to remember that Autism Response Team number, because that is super important. It's a really great resource. So it's, once again, 888-288-4762. We have the line available in Spanish as well. I'm just going to repeat that again. For Spanish, 888-772-9050, or via email, at a time that's convenient to you, and have the folks at the Autism Response Team get back to you. help@autismspeaks.org. And the walk, again, it's September 13th, Sunday, September 13th. Register, learn more, sign up your team. If you can get your fundraising started, it's a great time and a great excuse to, ask people to start supporting your team in honor of World Autism Month. And we're just a little less than 6 months away from the walk itself.
Right.
And then, it's a great way to stay tuned on all the updates and information we'll be sharing as we kind of monitor this continually developing situation. And finally, we are here. Again, our doors are virtually open, and we know that autism has not gone away during these challenging times, and our families really do need, the support now more than ever. And that's kind of on all fronts. We certainly know they need the support from our resources and our services and supports, but as an organization, we continue to need that very important support, from fundraising for the walk or corporate sponsors, to help us continue to do the work that we are doing and help us continue to fuel our mission at Autism Speaks.
Right.
So that's my story.
That's my spiel. Well, thank you.
Oh my gosh, Aminah, thank you.
Friends.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're most welcome. And thank you for sharing with the community. I am excited that you guys are here. I want you guys to continue to expect miracles. They're happening every day. And just, again, remember, help@autismspeaks.org. There are multiple resources there for you in English and right now in Spanish. And there are potentially other languages as well to access. You need to go to help@autismspeaks.org, and you'll be able to access those services. Thank you all for watching. If you've made it to the end of this video, kudos for you. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back repeatedly. Go ahead and binge watch. There's so many great things that are going on at Autism, the Other A Word by Aminah Mosley. So again, thank you to Nicole Thornton from Autism Speaks New York City. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and happy Miracle Monday, family. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, guys.